All right, so for the practice problems that are due tomorrow, I'm going to go over, I know I did say that we're going to do 175 and 176, the odds. So I'm going to go over a couple of the evens. You can take the same concept from number 4, which I'm about to go over, and apply it to number 5. It's basically the same problem. So I'm going to go over number 4 in this video. I will go over, I'll go over number 9 in the next video because I know a lot of people have already asked about that question, and I think that will continue to happen. But number 4, so you can get number 5 done. This one says Romeo had 3/4 or 3/4 of a pound of fudge left. That in this problem is actually the total. We talked about that in class, that the total in 5th grade was almost always a whole number. In this case, it is, and also in real life as you get older, not only in school, but out in, daily things that you do in real life, the total could be a fraction. So right now we have 3/4 as the total, and we're dividing the 3/4 of fudge into 5/16 pound bags. So that what that really means is we're going to put 5/16 of a pound in each bag. And then we're going to solve for that. So in a minute I'm going to solve it, but I notice on this problem, right, we already wrote, we're going to solve in a second the equation, so we wrote the equation. But then it also says interpret the quotient, which is the answer to a division problem. So they're kind of giving you a heads up. Not only is this whole lesson about dividing fractions, they're telling you to write an equation, and then they're saying the word quotient, so your equation should be a division problem. What it means by interpret is to talk about what is the answer actually referring to. So what I like to do is I'll use a different color so you can see it. Over here, we can label this, I already did on the top, this is the total amount of fudge that we have to split up. And this number is going to actually represent the amount of fudge in each bag. Okay, so I have a certain amount of fudge, 3/4 of a pound of fudge, and I'm going to cut it up, and I'm going to take 5/16 of a pound and put it in each bag. What the answer would represent is how many bags of fudge I will be able to create. So this answer is going to be how many bags of fudge I will be able to pass out. Okay, so now let's solve it, and we'll have the answer and we'll have the interpretation. So remember, when we divide fractions, we're going to keep the first one, change it to multiply, and flip the second fraction upside down, which is multiplying by the reciprocal. Don't forget, once you have a multiplication problem of fractions, you can sometimes cross reduce. 3 and 5 I can't cross reduce, but 4 and 16 I can divide both those by 4. So 4 divided by 4 is 1, 16 divided by 4 is 4. Now I'm going to multiply straight across. 3 times 4 is 12, 1 times 5 is 5. I have one more step to do because it makes no sense that if somebody said, well, how many bags of fudge did you make? And you said, I made 12/5 bags. It makes no sense. So we have to turn that back into a mixed number. 5 goes into 12, 2 times which is 10, and you have 2/5 fifths left over. So now we have to write a sentence, right? Because we have to interpret the quotient. I don't have room to write it here. I'm going to write it. It's probably going to go into the next problem. This would be good to use your notebook or write smaller and be able to fit it down here. The quotient means Romeo would be able to make 2 2/5 bags of fudge. Okay, going back to the directions, we had to write and solve an equation. We did that, we wrote it here, we solved it, we figured out what the answer would be, and then we had to interpret and say what it was. The answer really represents how many bags of fudge Romeo would be able to make in this problem. You can try number 5, it's the same thing, it's a different name, different numbers, and it's talking about butter instead of fudge, but it's exactly the same problem.